Hello, everybody on Facebook in our group. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our first Facebook Live. Tonight is going to be our half hour on neurodiversity affirming language. I did throw a poll in the group last week to see what or how I can help everybody, what the biggest concerns were, what everybody wanted some information on. And so this week we're going to do neurodiversity affirming language. So we'll just jump into that. If you have a comment, please pop it into the comments and I will try to answer as we go. I'm not really sure. I've never done a Facebook Live before, so please bear with me. I usually do Zoom sessions. So I'm trying to look at this and figure it out as I go. And I think we're good. Nobody's here yet. We have 0 viewers. I hope I'm doing this correctly. And okay, I will just wait a few minutes until we'll see if some people join, and then I will get to it. It's been a long day. I'm sure everybody's getting ready for Halloween tomorrow. It's going to be 75 degrees out, so might be a little sweaty in our costumes, but summer in October. Somebody's here. Hi, Katie's here. Hi, Katie. We're just gonna give it a few minutes to see if anybody else joins and then get going. You can pop questions in the comments as I go. This is my first Facebook Live, so please bear with me. I'm trying to figure out this dashboard while I do this. Let's see if I make this smaller, if I can still see. I can still see the comments. Okay. So just reiterate, tonight's winning poll topic is neurodiversity affirming language. I am a neurodiversity affirming speech language pathologist, which really just means play based. I focus on play, student strengths, really, following their lead, child led, and really just building upon their strengths, Gestalt language processing, and so many other things. Let's see. So neurodiversity is a term that was created in 1997 by Judy Singer. It really just means how each of us, everybody, has different brains. They develop differently, they work differently, they learn and experience the world in different ways. Along with the neurodiversity movement, the neurodiversity movement is really about fighting for the rights and equality of everyone, no matter how a child or an individual's brain works or processes information. And it really is just trying to ensure that everybody has equal opportunities, the same opportunities, and access to healthcare, well-being, and education. Some of the terms, I think it was neurodiversity terms and language that we really wanted to focus on today. There are quite a few terms and different phrases and different words to use in place of other words for neurodiversity. So first I want to mention that neurodiversity does not just include autism. Neurodiversity is an umbrella, and it includes so many things: ADHD, bipolar, autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, OCD, epilepsy, bipolar disorder, Down syndrome, dysgraphia, PTSD. You can also be born a neurodivergent individual, or you can acquire a brain injury or something that happens that would cause you to be now or become neurodivergent. So neurodivergent is just one individual. Neurodiverse would be, say, your family, and your child is neurodivergent and you are neurotypical. Then you would have a neurodiverse family. Neurodiversity is the movement as a whole. Just for some clarification with those basic terms. Uh, so some old terms around the language that old terms versus new terms. So some old terms would be, you would say child with autism, person first language. For the neurodiversity movement and some neurodivergent individuals, they don't uh, like child with autism, they prefer autistic child because they view autism as something that doesn't need to be fixed. It's just, again, a neurological difference. And they want to be supported. It's a part of who they are, and not anything that they want to get rid of, but just enhance and be supported where they are and build upon, again, building upon their strengths. I think I had a question here. Let me see. No, I did not. Also, low functioning and high functioning. Uh, some neurodivergent individuals prefer low support need and high support need because, say you have an ADHD student or dyslexic student, it's really not based on how they're functioning. It's or their level of intelligence or the person that they are. It's more on how much support they need. You put that into an IEP. It supports modifications, accommodations. So a lot of individuals prefer saying high support need, low support need. The high support need would be children who have, who are getting OT, PT, probably have a BIP or an FBA with a BIP in process. Maybe they have an AAC device, maybe they need weighted vests, they need an individual aid. Some children wear helmets, so those would be minimally speaking children. Those would be your higher support needs students compared to a lower support needs student who may just need redirecting, visual supports, or something on the lower end of support. Many times in the schools or at home or in society, you hear saying, oh, the child is so non-compliant. So instead of saying non-compliant, you would now say the child is uninterested or they're advocating for themselves. So many times children are not taught how to advocate for themselves, which includes just saying no. A lot of times during children's educational careers, they're really not taught how to say no or stand up for themselves or say what they need, especially surrounding the types of supports or modifications that they do need. Maybe a classroom is too loud, and the student says, what, I need to take a walk. And the teacher says, well, no, you need to stay in the classroom right now. But maybe they're overstimulated, maybe they're dysregulated. So advocating for their needs would be, I need to take a walk. It's too loud in here. I need to take a break. I need my headphones. I need to put my head down. I need to get up and walk around. I need the pedal bike. So really, or just saying, no, I can't do this right now. Can I do something else? Is there something else I need to do? Maybe children don't have all of those words, but sometimes in schools or at home, if you could say, all right, we don't need to do this right now, but we need to come back to it, we can do this instead. Or you kind of give two choices. Well, we can do this now, or we can do this now. Pick one. They're both kind of what you want them to do, but they have more autonomy and they're able to advocate for their needs and say, hey, you know what, can we do this? Because I really don't have the capacity to do that now. So not really being non-compliant, just advocating for what they feel they can do at the moment, or saying no, and really, or if they're just uninterested in something. Sometimes they'll say, children are eloping from the area because they need to get away. Sometimes they just need to get away, or it's our job to teach them how to advocate instead of running away, how can they, either through AAC or verbally or through writing or drawing or however they're communicating, um, how are we better able to support their communication needs in that moment to decrease the eloping instead of, the non-use of sticker charts and rewards and all that. A lot of the neurodiversity affirming is focused on intrinsic motivation. Oh, there's a question. Do you recommend speech after graduation or high school, or still struggling with social settings and communication on their own? Absolutely. I think if you find the right therapist, speech and language, even at the professional level, a lot of professionals have a neurodiversity, um, have supports, because when you get into the real world, it's a world based on neurotypical, the quote unquote normal people. That's what society is based on. That's what it's built around. So a lot of neurodivergent individuals definitely, they do need supports after high school, in college, even professionally when they start a job, to understand the little nuances, figurative language, body language, facial expressions. Where around here? What is AAC? AAC is alternative and augmentative communication, which can be, picture symbols, which is typically picture symbols. They can be typically on an iPad, where you're pressing the buttons for different, and then different pages open in order to help you communicate. Non-speaking, which is also another old versus new term, nonverbal versus non-speaking. So non-speaking children would have a non-speaking or minimally speaking children would have an AAC device or an iPad with, let me see if I have mine here, with an app on it that would help them communicate. I can show that to you quickly. So something like this. And then the children would be able to say,
I want help. I want help.
It helps them to communicate their wants and their needs, and say what they are thinking or feeling. Where out here? Do you mean for communication? I mean for support? You live in Riverhead. Um, Well, I'm in Port Jeff, and I would definitely be able to help you with that, and even virtually. So I would definitely be able to help you with that. I can definitely look into some therapists that are closer to you, because Riverhead is kind of a hike from Port Jeff. Riverhead for social skills, socialization, for speech. Riverhead speech. And he is self-direction. Yep, we can talk more outside of the group, and we can I'm writing all of this down that you're typing. And we can talk more, and I can definitely help you with that, and see if we can find you somebody to support him. Good questions. So I was just saying also nonverbal versus non-speaking. Nonverbal means that you have no language at all. Where humans are just communicators, and communication is part of being human, and everybody should have a way to access communication in some manner, and all forms of communication should be valid or validated, no matter what setting you're in, what school you're in, where you are in life. Any way you choose to communicate should be validated by wherever you are. If you're minimally speaking or non-speaking, and you need an AAC device or picture symbols or visuals, that should be definitely supported, and somebody should be helping you or your child be able to have access to that. I was going to say something and I forgot. we'll move on. Maybe that'll come back to me. Another old term is obsessions. Oh, this child, my child, or the student is so obsessed with cars, or so obsessed with trains, or so obsessed with um, space or science or whatever it is. And through the neurodiversity movement, the term is now special interests. These are very special interests to these students. And if you incorporate their special interests into anything that they're doing and really connecting with the child, it's going to, you will see a communication and an interaction explosion. Uh, you really don't want to, I mean, sorry, not don't want to, you really want to engage the child's special interests in really anything that you do. Um, what if a child doesn't accept help or basically shuts down? It's a tough one. So that child is definitely advocating for, whatever it is in that moment. A lot of children are you need to use, or I would suggest using declarative language or reflexive questioning, which is really just a different way of approaching them. Different. It's actually a game changer. Declarative language, I would say, even professionally, and I know I have had a couple of parents who started using it. It really opens up a child's, or shuts down their defenses. They don't go into that fight or flight and like you said, shut down and not accept help. It really gives them autonomy over making decisions and choices. Or so you would say, instead of go get your coat and go get your shoes, it's time to leave, we have to go, you would say, okay, we're leaving, what do you think we need to do right now in order to leave the house? So it would help them to think, oh, I need to get my shoes, I need to get my coat, I need to get my, I have a lot of parents, have your sensory, your responsibility bag at the door. It's the bag that you take with you all the time. And it helps the child to learn responsibility. Get your responsibility bag. It has your toys in it, and your books or headphones or whatever your child needs to have with them. So you're using the declarative language. You're saying, okay, it's time to go to the doctor, or it's time to go get ready for the bus. What do you think we need? Or what are we forgetting? Or what should we grab? And that kind of helps them. They don't really shut down, because now they're thinking, oh, what do I need? Like, nobody's telling me that I need to grab something or get something or do something. They're asking me what they think I need in order to do that. And it just accesses a different part, accesses a different part of their brain. And it really kind of quiets that shutdown and that fight or flight. um, for what you were just saying, old terms again would be red flags, like, oh, that's a red flag for autism, oh, they're stimming, that's a red flag. It's really not a red flag, it's just a common trait. It's what you see commonly with an autistic child. Autistic children are going to stim. It's self-regulating, it expresses emotion for them. So people who are neurodiversity affirming choose to say common traits instead of red flag. Challenging behaviors become dysregulation. From a neurodiversity affirming lens, behaviors are communication, behaviors are a form of dysregulation, and you really want to dig deep to find out what's causing the observable behavior, because you can't, fixing the observable behavior, what you're seeing in the classroom, the say a child is throwing the desk or eloping, that's, they're doing that's them advocating for their needs, yes, inappropriately, 100%. So it's our job to kind of be detectives, meaning the school and parents, working together to find out what's causing the not challenging behavior, but the dysregulation. What's setting them off? What's making them uncomfortable? Let's dig deeper. Maybe that morning they had an argument with their parents and they came in already off the bus glass half full. Like their glass is not at the bottom, it's not empty, they're already overflowing, they're so dysregulated. So now the first thing that happens, oh, their pencil point broke, and now that's it, they're running out of the classroom because they don't have the communication skills, they don't have the emotional regulation. They need somebody to co-regulate with and help them to become regulated and say, you know what, listen, I'm having a bad day, this is what happened, I just need a minute, I need to walk around, I need to go jump, I need a minute to breathe, I need to eat my breakfast. Finding all of those replacement and helping them regulate together, in order to not have those very high dysregulated moments. Another term is attention seeking versus connection seeking. All children want connection. A child who is, you know, attached to you, and is always like, maybe they're whining, maybe they're tapping their pencil, maybe they're like, pushing people's buttons. You know what? Maybe they do need just, it seems to be attention seeking, but maybe in that moment they really just need some connection. They're looking for somebody to come over to them and talk to them. Maybe they just need that comfort of a person. But again, they have difficulty advocating for themselves. They have difficulty saying what they need, and it comes across as you know, as being attention seeking, when they really just need to be, or say or communicate, like, hey, can somebody just come sit next to me right now, I really need some help, or whatever might be going on for that student at the time. Because all children, at home, in school, no matter where we are, children want connection. They want to feel comfort, they want to feel safe, seen, and secure. Excuse me. So as definitely as professionals, and of course as parents, you really want to have connection over compliance when you're working with or raising um, neurodivergent children. And I will say that not all families or individuals, or neurodivergent adults, or don't want to use or don't like to use neurodiversity affirming language. It's really up to the family. It's up to what your values are, and how you want to view your children. And I don't think that's any professional or other parents or any person's place to tell a parent how they should or should not think, what words they should use, or how they want their child supported. Neurodiversity, the neurodiversity affirming, the neurodiversity movement is also, against ABA. A lot of parents, I've heard a lot of parents, even just recently, say, ABA saved my child's life. But now they're having so much problem with anxiety, and they're so introverted, and they can't be in large places, and a lot of that might be because of the from especially autistic individuals who've been through ABA therapy, who are now adults, are saying how, at the time they weren't able to say how traumatic it is. But if you find your child is having a lot of behaviors during ABA, because it's very compliance based, they're the therapists are not really trained in communication. That's like a speech language pathologist is. They have very minimal education in communication language processing, and it is that very compliance based. So the now autistic adults are saying how traumatic and traumatizing it was for them, and it has caused now greater mental health issues as adults because of what they endured during ABA. You hear a lot about the new ABA, which is, I guess, if you're doing the new ABA, it's really not, it doesn't qualify it, from my perspective as a speech language pathologist. If you're changing ABA, then you're not using the ABA model. Then is it really ABA? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the new ABA looks like. But some parents think it's very beneficial for their children, and Unfortunately, that's what, schools and doctors and insurance companies are pushing. It's ABA, 40 hours of ABA for your 2 year old, which is exhausting. I don't even work a 30-hour week in the schools, and I'm exhausted, so I can't imagine a child, going to school all day and then having, hours and hours of ABA on top of that. There needs to be time for downtime, for play, for connection, for, engaging in their special interests. Um, yeah. Let's see. How are we doing on time? We have 5 minutes. I'd like to keep these to a half hour, just, get a blast of information out there. I think, Katie, I think you're the only one still here, and thank you for being here. Um, so a few more things, a few more phrases that I'll get to, which kind of go along with what I was saying. If you hear, they are rigid with their routines, you know what? A lot of individuals, neurodivergent individuals, they just prefer sameness. They're very inflexible. They like the same schedule. They like the same routine. So you need to support them and really build up the changes that are happening, and create social stories or visuals are sometimes like everything for a child, to make that connection. So instead of saying they're rigid with their routines, they prefer consistency and sameness. Like I said before, they're obsessed with cars, but they're really just very passionate about cars. Cars are life. If you could do math, English, science, and social studies for a student who has a high special interest in cars, they would probably, you know, do phenomenally, if you're basing it on their special interests. If you could do math problems with cars, they could probably do calculus if cars were able to be incorporated into calculus. And they have severe meltdowns. You would try to say they feel emotions intensely. That goes along with being dysregulated, needing a co-regulation partner, being as the adult, being aware of your emotions and when you're becoming dysregulated, in order to help support and regulate your child or your student, because I know we do have some professionals that are in the group as well. So those are the basic terms, phrases, I would say, that are, there are a lot of other terms that go along with the neurodiversity movement. Sensory, regulation and communication are really the basis of neurodiversity. Affirming practices, really just connecting with the student, connecting with the child, getting down on their level, teaching them to advocate, having access to communication so that they're able to advocate, communicate their wants, needs, their special interests, because all humans are, as I started this saying, we're communicative beings. We need connection. We need to communicate, really have that engagement with other people. And I think that's really it. Do you have any other questions? And Katie, I'll shoot you a message in. Thank you so much. I have so much more to say. This is really my passion. I'm very, very passionate about this. I've been a speech language pathologist this is my 25th year in the schools, but 25th years as fifth year as an SLP. And this is a very large part of who I am, and the children, and the students that I like to support. This is a very big part of me. I'm very passionate about it. But thank you for being here, and please ask questions in the group, and I will see you guys all next week. Take care. Bye.